All right, girls. So since Coach and I can't be with you after school today, we figured we would try this screen recording and do a couple things to get us ready for tonight's game. Uh, this is the shape we'll be playing in. We're obviously the team in blue, and a couple things we wanted to make sure that happened tonight was some of the passing patterns out of the back. The idea that Kate and Emma have a couple of options along with Izzy and Lily to play out of the back. So if you follow the ball here, if Emma's got the ball at right back here, the idea that we would play the ball the furthest pass we can successfully. So assuming this would be Juliana to start the game, that she would come in and she'd be sideways on to maybe play to her front foot. The ball can come here. And then obviously we can read the pressure from a defender coming in here. Then Fida can come over and combine with Jules so we can win the end line and, of course, go frame the goal. So Emma and Kate, you can imagine that this for you would mirror the other side of the field. So we would look to have you do the same thing as well. So option one would be to play the ball forward, if we could, to our wide player, which would be Juliana. Then the second option might be, depending on, of course, the game, would be that you would play the ball to one of our central midfielders, and preferably the highest midfielder in the center part of the field. Because we'll be numbers up in midfield, Coach and I feel that really there should be no reason why we can't play into midfield and then look to combine like into Julia, for example, and then that Kayla or Tatum get closer and stay connected so that when we play against the two other midfielders, we can combine to get out and go the other way. Something like that as an idea of how we could do to play in the central part of the field. So option two, again, would be to play the ball in the center part of the field to the highest central midfielder, and if not, then to whatever open midfielder is showing for the ball. Lastly, of course, that if we can't go this way or we can't go here, that, of course, we would step on the ball and play the ball to Victoria outside her post, in which case she would either read the pressure and play from there, go out the other way, or, of course, hit the ball 60, 70 yards, and we would have to win that ball there in the air and the second ball. So those are some of the things that we're thinking about in terms of playing out of the back. We don't want Juliana or Ava or Iz or any of the players, Angie, Mucci, any of the girls that would be playing out wide for us up top to necessarily drop too deep to get the ball, because we can kill that space with our outside backs here. They can fill in that space with a run. It's really just the ball that comes from our outside back in the middle or outside back up top. And even if Fida comes across or our central player comes across, that ball gets played in there and then up, back, and through, or it can be into Fida, back, and through. And if you remember from practice yesterday, that's basically some of the passing patterns we did within our diamonds. So that's what we're trying to replicate tonight, which is the reason why we practiced it yesterday. Now, in terms of the defending component, with playing against Depaul, and if you bear with me for a second, I'm going to start adding some players here in their shape. Okay, so you have their right back, you have their center back, okay? You have the other center back, and then, of course, you have your left back. And then you're going to have your, okay, and the player I just put on the field, that's the player we're going to be most concerned about, which I'm going to explain just briefly, which I think we've talked about anyway in practice and certainly in our game against Holy Angels when we move to this shape. But I want to make sure that we are on the same page for tonight in terms of how to defend this. I hope you don't take this video lightly, that you guys can watch this for a few minutes, maybe even twice, and think about your area of the field and that we're trying to coach and teach so that we are preparing ourselves not only for a great game tonight, but certainly for the state tournament if we decide to play this shape. I think the other thing that Coach and I were speaking about, which is valuable, is we don't think that playing a 4-5, a 4-2-3-1, a 4-4-2, and now even a 4-3-3 for your own growth is necessarily a bad thing. for your growth and development as players, you should be very flexible and understand the strengths and weaknesses of different systems. So because we're educating ourselves and you guys on a different shape, we really feel that's awesome. So look it up here now, the upper left-hand corner where the mouse is. You're going to see our left forward is going to press the ball to make play predictable. So if their right back has the ball, you should see that we are numbers up right here in midfield. Okay? The forward will come over and stop the back pass. That might probably more likely be feeded to start the game. And then you have 1, 2, 3 central midfielders against the 2 other midfielders. We are numbers up. Now the idea that Kate will bump up here. Okay, and you notice now we are 1, 2, the 2 forwards. We have our 2 backs. We could squeeze Emma to make a 3-back system. So we're numbers up in the back. We have our Victoria, and we have 3 other defenders. And we want to force the ball inside to our strength. And now what we talked about yesterday, this entry pass, we have to win the ball in this third. Here's the question, though. When the ball gets played out, which will happen because we are not perfect, okay, if the ball gets played out for some reason to the right back, it's going to be very important. I'm sorry, the right midfielder from the right back. Okay, so let's put this right midfielder like they're coached properly, sideways on with as much width as Depaul will let them play. Now, you also have this player as well, out wide, because I'll show you 2 different situations. Let's get Juliana back in here, or whoever that player might be at the time. All right. So now the right back gets played. Sorry, the right back plays the right midfielder the ball. It's going to be very important that this central player slides out, and Kate must get there early enough to not allow that player to turn, and she cannot get beat on a touch. Her line cannot be broken. So she'll be sideways on here, forcing the player inside. We'll have another central midfielder come over to help, and which means that Kayla, Tatum, or Julia, whoever that other midfielder is, has to come in. And now you notice we are perfect in the central part of the field, stopping them from going forward. That space is where we can get beat if Kate gets beat 1v1. Question is, what would happen if that happens? This player is going to come out to stop the ball because they'll be the most important player with the ball. So let's just say, for example, Kate goes to tackle and she misses the tackle. So now you have the Depaul player that gets behind Kate. So Lily will have to step. Kate will be retreating to come back and double team from behind because she just got beat. Izzy will have to slide over. And obviously, if you're watching this, you'll go, okay, well, then that means that Emma has to slide over. And now you guys do your job one-on-one. So really, in essence, there should be no reason why we get beat in the space that we can be exploited in this system. We shouldn't be beat because as long as we're stepping and staying dialed in the game, it should be fine because we're numbers up in midfield in the back part of the field, and with Victoria there as well. Okay, so that's really what has to happen very fast tonight. It really is very simple, and that, of course, is only assuming that Kate gets beat. If you guys have any questions, definitely text Coach I or call Coach and I before the game. But we look forward to seeing you guys playing later. And I hope you guys understood a little bit of what we're trying to do in terms of balls getting played forward out of our backs, and certainly our defensive shape when the ball gets played to their outside midfielders and how we step and defend that. I hope you guys had a great day at school, and we'll see you later.